All right, welcome back, everybody, to the brain injury discussion. This is your host, Jay. Today, we are going to talk a little bit about brain healthy habits. This isn't just for those with brain injury, but this is for everybody, regardless of whether you have a brain injury or not, regardless of what you have going on in life. I think all of these tips are very applicable, but they're especially so when it comes to the field of brain injury. And that's something that I think we should take a little bit of time and examine because some of the videos we've covered specific brain injury processes, but maybe we should look at some things that apply to everybody. So this is something where we can take it and apply it to the brain injury world, but we can also apply it outside of that. So with that being said, like always, sources will be in the description below. We do appreciate it if you give us a thumbs up, maybe give this video a like. We'd also love it if you subscribe to the channel. And while you're at it, maybe there's something in here that would be a healthy habit that you want to implement in your life, or maybe there's something I missed. Feel free to put it in the comment section down below. We always love hearing your feedback. But with that being said, let's get started. And so, um, like we always start talking about lifestyle choices. There's a lot that we can pick here, but there was a few things in this article that I decided that was, kind of important. So we should address the mental health. Why? Because it is a link present between dementia and depression. So apparently there's a link there, according to that article, and they said, well, you know, quite possibly due to long-term depression, well, we saw a little bit of an uptick in dementia. So, as a lifestyle choice, maybe we should address our mental health. What about physical activity? That's a no-brainer. That's a simple one. And it does not have to be running 6-minute miles in boot camp down in Parris Island. No, it can be walking. It can be basic exercise. Exercise is good for us. Exercise is good for the heart, it's good for the brain, it's good for the body as a whole. And when the body is healthy, usually the brain is healthy too. And usually what's good for the body is what's good for the brain. Maybe we need some stimulating activities. Okay, maybe we can't just exercise, but maybe we need to engage the brains. We can't just put the metaphorical brain into first gear and go 5 to 10 miles an hour. We need to kind of up those gears into second, third, and fourth, and so on. And so this is where we want brain games. We want to challenge that brain. We do want those activities that challenge. Think about a crossword. Think about word find. Now, I'm not saying those are the only ones, but those are certainly two good examples. Think Sudokus. Think problem solving. If you're not into that, maybe uh, look at hobbies where you have to fix problems. For example, if you're restoring a classic car, you need to know how the car works. Maybe if you're into model trains, you need to be kind of a basic electrician. You got to figure out mathematics, angles. We want to challenge our brain and we want to do so in a good and also fun way. That way we enjoy this. So think lifestyle choices. And also, this article pointed to good sleep routines and good habits. Okay, and this seems like a very basic overview. Well, we're going to go a little bit deeper into healthiness. Diet, food. Well, we practically eat this every day. I would hope you would eat this every day, but this article down here really points to um, a well-balanced diet. You want a healthy diet. You want foods that are nutrient-rich foods. We want those nutrients. Those nutrients are important to not only our body function, but also our brain function as well. You want vitamins and minerals. So we're talking vitamins A, B1 through 12, C, D, and E. You want to get those vitamins in. You got to think, okay, how do I get my vitamins and nutrients in? Usually it's just eating a decent diet, eating a healthy diet. We also got to think about those minerals as well, like iron, calcium, and zinc. And there's plenty more. Like we could go on for hours about what's good for the brain. Now, you might be thinking, well, Jay, what if I can't get all those in there? Well, it's like, well, you try to get as much as you can in there. Think of the food you eat as fuel. Just like you would not want to put water inside of a gas tank, you don't want to put you don't want to put the wrong fuel in for your body and the brain. And so when we consider that, we should look at the quality of the fuel and we should also look at the quantity of the fuel. And so this kind of leads into what's called a caloric balance, which for most people, this article said somewhere, we don't want too many calories because that builds fat. We don't want too little calories because that won't be enough fuel. We want to keep it nice and balanced. Also, less junk food. I mean, as much as people love fast food because it's fast and it is food, maybe we should consider less of it. Maybe look at more healthier options. I'm not saying that we should cut out the fast food entirely, because let's face it, there are situations where you need it fast and you need it to be food. And so maybe we could cut back on the amount or the amount of times we eat junk food. Now, as much as I love my salt and vinegar chips, that is a rare treat for me. And so let's think about it like we want that good fuel for the brain. Think of your brain like a car engine. Think of your body like a car engine. We want the right fuel in there. We want that unleaded 87 or 89. We don't want that leaded 43. We want that good fuel for optimal performance. And you would want that because let's face it, as much as we love our cars, as much as we love our vehicles, we should love our bodies more and give it the fuel that it needs and deserves. So, with that being said, that was diet and food. That's a lot to take in, even just the vitamins and minerals. And that's not even a complete list of the vitamins we need, which that will be another video sometime probably in the future. But we're going to need the right fuel to fuel our bodies and fuel our brain. But there is more. So let's continue. Habits, routine. You might have heard the speech about making your bed first thing in the morning. That gives you an accomplishment. And so what we want is we want to add healthy routines, stuff like exercising, maybe eating timely, maybe having consistent eating times, maybe hydration. Maybe we do want to hydrate ourselves a little bit more. Um, Maybe we're not drinking enough water. Maybe we're drinking too much soda. Think about adding healthy routines and maybe using that as a replacement for maybe some unhealthy routines. And speaking on that, we want to reduce unhealthy habits. I'm not saying you have to cut them all out immediately and stop them all cold turkey, but maybe we should reduce those. Stuff like eating out, kind of like ties into our previous slide. Maybe TV time, maybe replace TV time with exercise, or maybe cut it in half and replace it with exercise. Maybe we should reduce our dependence or use of electronics. Maybe we should start doing those word puzzles. Maybe find a hobby that takes us away from our cellular device. All that would be good. So let's replace the bad with new and healthy, and then we can start reducing those bad habits. This kind of ties in with creating daily rituals or routines. These are rituals if you think about it. For example, if you exercise, that might be a ritual that you do on a weekly basis or a bi-weekly basis. Sleep, that is a daily ritual, which we're going to get into in the next slide. Maybe you like to talk to people. Okay, make that a ritual. Like, okay, once a day, say hello to a friend. You might be thinking of other things, maybe your interests, maybe your culture, maybe self-care, maybe your wellness. All of these are, in fact, can be turned into habits and routine. And having good habits and good routines is a good thing. We do need those. Otherwise, that time that we would otherwise either be working on classic cars, working on a model railroad, being with friends on a hike, that time could be easily taken up by unhealthy habits like eating out, like TV, like electronics, maybe YouTube videos. As much as I love people watching YouTube videos on our channel, um, I'm not saying it's the end all be all, that that's the only thing you should do. Maybe you should go out for a hike. And so when we create routine, we also create steadiness. And as noted in this source, we're able to create routine, which is a steady source of activity. So we're able to keep that time busy with things. And good busy is better than bad busy. We want to stay busy with healthy things instead of unhealthy things. And so creating that steadiness, that consistency is important, not just for our daily lives, but also for our brain. Our brain likes consistency. But with that being said, let's continue. Sleep. All right. So what about sleep, Jay? Well, we need that quality rest time. Not just about the quantity of sleep, because guess what? You can sleep for 12 hours, but if it isn't quality of sleep, you're not actually getting rest. Avoid stimulants later in the day. Well, it kind of makes sense. Don't drink a cup of coffee right before you go to bed. That's not going to help you get to sleep. You want to schedule your sleep time. You want it to be consistent and routine. Think about it. You want those 8 hours of sleep at least, and you want to make sure that you get to bed on time, decompress, and fall asleep at a certain time. And it also talks about waking up at a certain time. We want to avoid naps throughout the day. Guess what? The thing that causes people not to sleep at night is probably naps. Why? Because if you nap during the day, you're going to be way more awake in the evening, which makes falling asleep a lot harder. And another big thing that I've realized is you got to reduce the light and noise. You want to be in a nice, dark, quiet place. So that TV, if you need it to help you fall asleep, put it on a timer. Same thing with electronics. Put it on a timer. Get that thing off. We want to turn these things off as much as possible. Yes, set your alarm. Yes, put on the sounds that you need, but you want it to kind of get you to the point where you do sleep. You don't want a screen being playing in the middle of your sleep because your brain will register that even if you are sleeping. You don't want that outside noise. You don't want to play the TV while you're sleeping. And so if we look at these 5 simple ways to improve your sleep, you need a routine. Let's avoid screen time. Let's avoid naps. Let's avoid caffeine and make your bedroom dark and quiet. That way, you can get good sleep because guess what? You're going to need that sleep. You're going to need that rest to function optimally. So, with that being said, what does this leave me as the brain injury case manager to conclude? Well, healthy habits are good for those both with and without brain injury. This is simple, but this is especially important for those with brain injury. We want healthy habits. All right. Healthy habits impact our daily lives. You might not know it, but if you're walking 2,000 steps and you create that as a habit, that's a good habit to be in. And maybe you might grow that habit. You want to create those healthy habits. Otherwise, unhealthy habits will start to slip in. And probably the biggest takeaway is you want to take care of your brain and your body because you only have one of them. I only have one brain and I only have one body. Let's take care of it because the more you take care of it, the better. But with that being said, here are my references, and I hope you all have a good rest of the day. Also, feel free to put a comment. Maybe there's a healthy habit you want to share. Maybe there's a unhealthy habit that you notice that maybe needs to be squashed. Maybe you're wondering, is this healthy or not? We'd love to hear a vibrant discussion in the comments section. We would also encourage you to subscribe to the channel. We put out this information. We try to put it out weekly. That way you get good informational and applicable videos every week. Also, feel free to give us a like. We love seeing those thumbs up. But with that being said, I hope everyone has a wonderful rest of the day. And don't forget, protect your brains.